Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Customizing Culture, the Heat Press Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jared Barbosa, and dudes and dudettes, I am super excited to have my guest here today. I've been trying to get him on the podcast, and he's so cool. He's like, nah, I need to make sure this podcast is going to fly. Let's wait a couple seasons, but it's season 3. We got him on the pod. Ladies and gentlemen, RJ Rickert, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. And to his point, yes, it has been, 2 years now?
Yeah.
A little over a year, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to be here. At any time, we were just discussing, I left negative degree weather in St. Louis to come out to sunny California. So
yeah, and you're lucky you got the sun because we've been like cold and rainy.
Oh.
Like for us, and I'm sure you're probably insulted by this, but for us, we thought we were all going to die because at night it dipped to like 39 degrees.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we're swimming outside at 39 degrees. But anyway, yeah, no, thank you for having me. I'm excited to sit down and talk.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, do me a favor. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, RJ Rickert, tell everybody, though, like, kind of, introduce yourself.
Sure, yeah. RJ Rickert. I work for a company called ISW, which is Imaging Supplies Warehouse. We are a wholesale distributor, so we represent different manufacturers across the world. So our manufacturer maybe Asia or Europe who wants representation here in the United States. We pick, pack, and ship very well. Multiple warehouses across the country. But yes, we sell to wonderful people like Heat Press Nation and help them grow their business.
Heck yeah. And under that ISW umbrella, or actually, I don't know if I have that right. Would you say Crio is under the umbrella? Like, how
Correct.
does that work?
So Crio is one of our brands, right?
Okay, there we go. Can you tell us a little bit about Crio?
Yeah, so Crio white toner printers. We are the official OEM of Oki Data. So Oki Data was kind of the founder of white toner.
The legends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the OGs. So back in, I believe, and I could quote this wrong because this is before I started, but around 2014, the first model of white toner came out. In 2021, Oki Data left the Americas. So Oki Data America and Oki Data Japan. Japan's the parent company. Oki Data America's was just like a sister company here. They left. So there's no more Oki product getting sold. It's all through OEM. Mm-hmm. So Oki Japan reached out to ISW and said, would you like to carry on a very successful product for us just under a different brand? In August 21, boom, Crio came out.
There we go. And we're going to get into this more a little bit, but like I think that's the one thing that I think people notice, like, wait, aren't they just rebranding Oki? And I'm like, yeah, duh. Like,
sure.
It's no secret, but
right.
And it's not like, I think people treat rebranding as like a dirty little secret. It's like, no, dude, you don't understand. Like, you're getting the opportunity to get your hands on some amazing, well-established technology, right, with dedicated support. We're going to get into all that in a little bit.
Okay, sweet.
But I want to know more about you. I think people want to know more about you.
Okay.
So like, I did a little research, and by research, I mean I went on LinkedIn, and I found out that we actually started in this industry in the same year.
Okay.
2017, right? Or 16, 17?
Yeah, started in the industry in 16.
Okay, same.
ISW started in 17.
Got it. Wait, so what was that year before? What were you doing?
So I worked for a company called Tube Light. They actually just recently got bought by Grimco.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So they're in our industry. They're in the sign shop, LED lights. So I was an outside sales rep in Phoenix.
Got it.
So fresh out of college, I had a prior stint playing a little football. So thought I was going to be making it big time. Figured out there's a lot of better people out there than myself. So my pops was in the industry. So through that, just made some connections and was an outside rep for Tube Light. And then my boss got promoted at ISW, and they needed to kind of fill that gap. And that's kind of how I started with ISW.
So prior to entering that first job, what was your like heat transfer or like customization experience?
Oh yeah, that was -0.
Negative
or -100. So, I always knew my dad was in this industry, right? He was, my dad was the president of Muto for 10.
Oh, for real? I did not know that.
10 plus years.
Yeah.
So he's always gone. So like we always joked as like friends, this guy's going to Japan and he's going to Belgium. We're like, this guy might be in the CIA. What does he do, right?
So as kids, nobody knows what their dad really does.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he couldn't come to my football game, and it's like, you didn't tell me where you're going, or anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, I had zero prior knowledge walking into this entire industry, and my welcome to the industry was SGIA in New Orleans in 2017.
SGIA being, it's a trade show. By the way.
Correct. Yes, it is a trade show, and so. Oh my goodness. And this is pretty united now. So it's the largest trade show in our industry.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, my goodness. And so let's just say I am now an expert in my white toner field. So where I came from years ago to now is just like, man, I learned a lot.
Yeah, so I think it's funny that there's that parallel. So I started in 2016.
Okay.
Path was a little different. I was in graphic design. I was kind of a freelancer. And see, just making enough money to like pay my car payment and like buy lunch, right? Still living at home, whatever. Met my girlfriend who's now my wife, and things were getting serious. And I was like, dang, I'm going to need a real job. All right. Enough of this. Like, So Heat Press Nation was the first place to call me back.
Really?
Yeah. So I had customer service experience at that point.
Nice.
So I was just like, let me just find the first call center. I know I could do that job pretty well. HPN, first place to call me back. First interview, first offer, and I was just like, yeah, sure. I don't know why I was such a free spirit back then, but I was like, yeah, let's do it, man. I don't know what these guys do. And then within I think a month or two, I had bought my first heat press, vinyl cutter, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were doing the side hustle at home
pretty early after starting. So I showed up, my first day of work, knew zero about heat presses.
Okay.
I lied. I Googled the company the night before my interview.
Okay.
But
really put in the work.
Yeah. But like showed up like first day, like knowing zero.
Okay.
And then very quickly just fell in love with the product, the process. And I feel like it's all kind of history from there. Here we are, like darn, a doggone 7-8 years later. And yeah, dude, like
now you're like a symbol in our industry. I mean, like people know you, which is kind of
like
cool.
2 people.
Yeah, we're in the room.
Right? Yeah, the 1, 2.
That's right. But no, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, and then I want to say ISW. What year did you say they started?
2009.
Okay, so same. Heat Press Nation also started in 2009. Yeah, so
awesome.
We're like alternate universe versions of each other.
That's
You're the version that just came out like a little bit more like, taller and well built, I
would have cut the mustache. You could have just told me, man.
Oh, yeah. So we could have been parallel.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I shaved the hair off too, man. You could have told me.
Oh no, my hair's gonna go eventually. Okay. So I'm keeping it
while it lasts. Yeah. I feel you there.
Yeah. Like people are, like my wife, like, hey, would you ever do a buzz cut? I'm like, one day I'll have to.
Sure.
For now, I'm hanging on to this.
I feel you there. Yeah. I got, dude, waking up and doing your hair, not having to do it is like amazing.
Oh yeah, I only do this for the podcast. I wear a hat every day.
Okay, smart man.
I'm lazy man. And so, anyways, dude, just so you guys know, like in the industry, I love meeting people like you.
Sure.
Meeting people who are like kind of parallel on the same path.
Yep.
Because it's a very small world here. Now, you have kind of this cool experience in where you get to do the trade show circuit. Mm-hmm. Heat Press Nation, for whatever reason, we don't really do the trade show circuit. I get to do this podcast, which is fun.
Sure.
But I'm sure you meet like a lot of people, and you've probably gone to like a lot of places. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, trade show season starting. So this is January. ISS this weekend. Outside of Print United, probably the biggest show of the year here in Long Beach. So you will get and it's a lot on the garment side of things. Mm-hmm. That's why I really like ISS, because you get a lot of garment creators, whatever, sublimation, vinyl, whatever. But yeah, man, I get to go to Long Beach, Texas. I get to go to the East Coast, Charlotte, Indianapolis. I mean, it's a grind, but like you said, I meet so many cool people, end users, other vendors, and you kind of have like your little crew, man, and you're like, all right, cool, I'll see you in March, you know what I mean? So it's like your friend group without, outside your real friend group. But get in front of I think I got so good at doing what I'm doing is from hearing people at shows and all of these different questions. How is this different than this? And obviously it took time to learn, but you can hear more from what people are needing at a trade show. Online you can definitely get some feedback, but in person, especially when customers have my product and they're maybe struggling and they come to the show and I can show them, a thing or two to help them out. That goes a long way. And for us, I'm just saying, not like throwing shade on anyone that doesn't go to shows, but for Crio, if we're going to a trade show, obviously we're in front of our product, so we're not afraid of it. So we want to see our users, right? If you're not happy, come to us. Let's help. Let's figure this out. And so obviously we get the happy ones and the not happy, but for us to be there, at least to support, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah. How does the traveling suit you?
I could tell you when you were single, it was easy, I moved, so a little backstory, I moved from Phoenix to St. Louis. So I was just kind of like by myself in St. Louis, and I'm not like depressing type of way. Just, my family was back home and I was doing my thing. And now you got to insert a girlfriend, and now she's like, why do you hate me? You're always gone. It's like, well, hey, it's part of the gig. So, traveling now that you have someone back at home is a little bit more difficult, but to be honest, it's fun, man. And opportunities are there, especially in these different cities and, product releases or whatnot. And it helps me keep up with the industry, right? Because if I'm not going to these shows, I might not see the new piece of equipment or the new such and such that came out, and I get to see those in person.
How important do you think it is for people who are like, hey, I've been saving this money. I got $5,000, $2,000, one, whatever. I have this amount of money. I'm ready to launch my business, but I want to see this stuff in person.
Yep.
How important do you think it is for people to actually attend these shows?
I would say it's important because you see the good, bad, and the ugly at a show. If you go to a show and that printer's not running, well, something's wrong because it should be running, right? And so you can be like, okay, why isn't that printing right now? Oh,
at the trade show where it should be printing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
So you can see the good, bad, and the ugly at a show to where maybe you did a pre-recording online demo or an online demo where maybe everything's set up for success.
Yeah.
It's going to look great. You know what I mean? So I think it's cool. The thing with me, especially with trade shows, is like every booth's got the best equipment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have the best printer. I have the best heat press. This is the best technology. It's like you can leave that thing like whole. If you're just starting your business, you'd be like, I want it all, right?
Yeah.
So obviously go to the trade show, narrow down to like, okay, I want to get into this. There might be 5 different ways to do it. But I think being able to see, touch, feel, the ease of use, and get to know someone you're buying from. Obviously, you can build that relationship with a sales rep to be like, hey, man, I bought from you at ISS Long Beach. Oh, okay, great. And then maybe a little bit better service or because you have some rapport. So I think trade shows are great. Yeah,
especially when you're going to buy a white toner printer, which we'll get into, but like a little bit more expensive than maybe just a couple $100. I think for us, what has worked out, and it's cool to get like different like perspectives from different companies. For us, what's worked out is we live stream a lot.
Yes.
So
I love you guys.
So you still thanks.
Love you guys' content.
So it's funny because you're talking about like, when you're live, when you're there, it has to work. It's funny because when we're live streaming, there's been times where like I'll press something like, and as the press is closing, I'm like, oh God, I messed that up. In 15 seconds, people are gonna see that I right? And so you kind of have that like, oh man, but it's cool because you maybe not so much as in person where people could touch it, but on live stream, you do get that good, bad, and the ugly. So there's that little. Do you ever have that little rush of like, oh man, what if this doesn't work? This might not work, but it's gonna work.
Yes, at every trade show, we're so honest. We're like, bring that piece of leather that you can never transfer on. Let's see if it works. And it's like, let's pull a whole, you know what I mean? But like, there's absolutely times I'm pressing on, a random substrate. I'm like, I have no clue if this is going to work, but I'm looking confident. You know what I mean?
We were live one time and we had put sticker vinyl on a Frisbee. Okay. And then someone was like, can you sublimate it? And I was like, we're about to find out.
Frisbee?
And I melted the Frisbee live. But
400 degrees or whatever. That makes sense.
But you got to
show it. Absolutely.
You got to do it. Yeah.
And I think that's where guys like us come into play because it's like, let us make these mistakes. Yeah. What do you want to see? And what do you want to see us fail at? Boom. We'll do it for you. Okay, you can't do that. Oh, you can do this. But it's cool for us, maybe with more reach than someone at home. Yeah. And obviously like they're not wasting their money. So like,
right. And I work at a heat press. If I break one of these presses, it's not coming out of my check. We'll just pull out another one. So
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look we have some expenses that we can be creative with.
Liberties we could take.
That's right. So let us make the mistake, people.
Yeah. So now, so Crio, I'm going to be honest. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is not in any way a slight to other companies, but I'm a Crio fan. I'm a Crio boy.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, so I love Crio. I love what you guys stand for. I love that you guys were able to keep that established technology in the marketplace.
Yep.
So it's really, really cool. But I get a ton of questions. So I feel like this next segment, I feel like I'm just a relay right now of questions that I get a lot. Sweet. That I think that, hopefully I think people they are curious about white toner.
Okay.
And let's just rip this big Band-Aid off right now, bro. Inkjet DTF, right? It's like a liquid ink DTF versus we actually call it white toner DTF here because you're printing onto a film.
Correct.
And the process is so similar. Print on the film, adhesive on the print, press it, usually a cold peel.
Right.
So as far as processes, they're very parallel. but there's like big differences between the two. So can you kind of speak to that? Like, hey, someone, maybe they're in the market, maybe they're looking at these DTF printers, they're at the show, obviously a lot of lights and you know, and pizzazz around these things. But like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, so DTF, I would say it took North America by storm January of 2021.
Yeah.
So I was at this show, and you know, you heard of DTF, and all of a sudden there's like 30 printers on the floor, and you're like, what is this? Like, now I got to learn more about this. So to your point, DTF, for those who don't know, it's an inkjet version of printing white. And so, you know, what I like to say is that when you could print white, you can decorate a dark substrate of any sort. Yeah. So printing white is huge in our industry because, you know, whether you're going on a black cotton shirt that you can't do with sublimation or something like that, that white is huge. And on the DTF space, there's two different types of DTF. You have a desktop version, you have a large version. In the process, you always have to print. You have to put some type of powdered adhesive on there, and it has to cure in an oven before you can press it. So there's a process with DTF. Yeah. Some of the large stuff is it's all built in one, right? So you print.
Yeah. Massive systems.
100. Yeah. You're looking at 10 feet. Like one might not fit in this room.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll have the printer. It'll automatic powder. It'll go through the oven, and then it'll come out and kind of roll at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so those large customers, I think, have a great spot in our industry because they're mass producing these transfers, right? Maybe they're helping out a screen printer that didn't want to burn all these screens, or, you know, the high volume stuff is definitely a need for that. And then you have the desktop version, which fits the need of the short run, where the Crio's at. Any white toner printers in that short to medium run solution, direct to garments in there too. Yeah. Those desktop versions are a little problematic if you're not using them all the time. So what happened with these the DTF market is they were all CMYK printers that they've turned into these white printers. And so the print heads, they're using, a lot of them are using the Epson i3200 heads, which are great heads.
I'm going to pretend I know exactly what that is.
Come on. It's the i3200.
The i32, yeah.
We all know that. I think the issue of DTF is when they sit idle, and when you're getting into that side hustle customer, maybe the at-home business, I need to fill my need of the short to medium run, and you forget to run that for 2 or 3 days, and you come back. I think that's where customers are running into issues of, there's $300-$400 for another print head or stuff of that nature. And obviously with the Crio, and to your point, we are printing directly to film, right? You know, some of our papers that we use are film based. And so because ours is toner based, there's no maintenance. I could print 1,000 prints on Monday, turn it off, and turn it on next year, and the printer will run. And so
I have to interrupt you. That's such a big deal. Yep. A lot of our customers are graduating up from sublimation.
Yep.
And so we love Sawgrass for that reason, because Sawgrass, it at least does its own self maintenance. Yeah. So you can't necessarily like put it away in your closet for a year. But if you're not running it regularly, at least the Sawgrass kind of takes care of itself.
And there's no white with the Sawgrass, right?
Right. No white. So just the fact, I think people coming from that world, and maybe you're not using Sawgrass, maybe they're using like converted Epsons or even the newer Epson or Brother, like that's not possible with sublimation, period. You can't just turn it off, put it away in your closet, and come back a year later, which to me, like that's already like, for white toner, that's already one of the many like kind of game changers that people are encountering as they're graduating up. Or even moving just parallel from different systems.
Yeah, no, you hit it spot on. Is DTF has done such a good job of, it's almost the FOMO, right? I need a DTF printer or else I'm missing out.
There's so much of that.
Yes, and so you're going online, you're seeing all these options. Maybe you're going direct to Alibaba, or you're going to Amazon's got DTF printers now. You know what I mean? But and so. But I think these are the customers who were buying white toner printers before DTF. And now with this buzz, they're all getting in, which I think is great because it's getting more people into our industry. But we've heard some stories of people having a bad experience, and then they're like, I'm not investing any more on equipment. And so it's like, I think DTF has got a space. And I think, like I said, the ginormous machines that have the roll-to-roll, they're probably $30,000. But those are legit. They have a place. And I think people are making a lot of money with those. But those desktop versions, my question to that customer looking to buy one of those is just how much guaranteed business are you doing per day? Because you want to turn that printer on every day. And so if you're doing, I'm doing 20, 30 shirts a day. I think the DTF might work for you. It's a little slower than what our process might be, but at least you're using it.
Yeah.
If you're like, I don't know, that DTF, you might want to question, you know what I mean?
Yeah. People don't really believe me when I tell them like making the shirts is like 20% of your work.
Right.
You have to book the business.
Correct.
You have to book the jobs to keep your printer and your heat press or whatever to keep that busy.
Right.
So yeah, so when you're asking that question, like, yeah, okay, fine, you want the desktop DTF. Do you have the bandwidth to not only keep that maintained?
Yeah.
Are you booking enough jobs to run it daily?
Yeah. And Graphics Pro came out, I think the January edition. I don't know the exact vendor, so I'm not even going to state names, but there was a couple quotes on there that stood out to me that was like, we still don't know exactly what's in this powder. So like proper ventilation is needed.
Oh man, we were talking on the podcast. I want to say it was T-shirt Buddy, Ruben Oriole.
Okay.
If that wasn't you, Ruben, I'm sorry. I'm gonna give you credit for that anyway.
There you go.
Yeah. So we were talking to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm masked up."
Yep.
Like because he runs it in his house.
Yes.
And he's like, "I'm masked up because I don't really know exactly what's going on with this stuff. It doesn't, he's like breathing in. It's like, it doesn't feel right. So let me use some PPE on that." Yeah.
Who else is in the house? Do you have pets? Is it getting into the vents? Is there children? Yep. And so, look, I'm not saying by DTF that you're going to get sick. I just think there's unknowns. And so it might just be early on, like wait until one of these big guys, like an Epson or someone really puts their name behind a product and here's proper ventilation. We got everything. Okay, great. Like let's now discover that. But when you're hand doing the powder and like you said, gloves, masks, and there's a solution where you don't need any of that. You know what I mean? That's proven.
So I love that you're saying that. So now, if you don't mind, can you talk to us like, who do you think, like what customer do you think is like, oh, white toners for you, bro, sis?
Sure. Man, that's pretty wide. So
it is. Okay.
It is because we do fill a bunch of needs and complement a bunch of things. So I'll give you a couple scenarios. I want to start my own t-shirt business. I have $10,000. Who do I buy? Right now I have nothing. Mm-hmm. I think you go with any type. I'm not saying just a Crio. I can tell you what Crio is about, and you can make that decision for yourself. But a white toner printer allows you to decorate pretty much anything. Yeah. So when you're starting out and you go sublimation, I have to say no to cotton. I have to say no to darks.
Right.
No matter what. So I'm already saying no to those customers. Mm-hmm. Now, if I want to just make hundreds and hundreds of mugs, you could do that with the white toner printer. But is that the best? Maybe sublimation is better for you. And so I think if you're wanting to get into a personalization market, white toner, there's product from $4,000 up to $14,000. That might be the best way to start because I'm not saying no to anyone. I can make stickers. I can make tattoos, t-shirts, mugs, hats, shoes. Yeah. I mean, there's just a wide variety. So me not being from the industry, coming into the industry and seeing all these different decorative methods. Yes, I do sell white toner, but man, it's versatile. And we have put a lot of people into business. And so it is a great place to start and now you can grow. I'm doing so much, or maybe I need to get a DTF printer to just sell transfers. Yeah.
But by that point, if you're at that point in your white toner journey, how many times do you think you've paid off that printer?
Over and over. I mean, the thing about toner is you're not buying toner. So when I give you the printer, you might get 1,200 prints out of it from the starter set. Mm-hmm. You probably paid the printer off already before you need more toner. Dude. And I think it's a product where you're not going to get rid of it because that onesie twosie job, even if you go into full screen printing, so I guess my next customer is that now someone looking for a short to medium run solution in their current business. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're a sign shop and you don't do shirts right now, but people ask you all the time, or screen printer that wants to do your onesie twosies. Yeah. A no maintenance product is going to be your best friend because you probably aren't using that every day. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, so one of my customers who purchased the white toner, they were buying it specifically to stop bleeding out customers to XYZ shop down the road. Okay. So they weren't really expecting to, and I'm not saying that you're not going to make your money, but that particular customer is like, I'm not quite expecting to pay this off on the printer itself, but the customers that I'm no longer losing.
They were outsourcing to maybe a competitor?
No, well, they were turning down jobs. Okay. So he got sick of turning down jobs.
That's awesome.
He's like, I don't want to turn down any more jobs just because he had lost so many customers.
Sure.
Because if shop down the street can do your customers one or two jobs, and offer them your services, you just sent somebody to the enemies. Yeah.
Right.
You're feeding your customers to the wolves.
Right.
So basically his thing was like, look, I'm done bleeding customers.
That's cool.
And he's like, I'm fully expecting to pay this off with my just on saved customers.
Yeah.
So I was kind of blown away on that. Like, I was like, oh man, yeah. Like, of course, if white tone is your thing, it's going to pay itself off like many times over. But even if it's not your thing, it's still paying for itself in other ways.
I believed in the product so much that I got my sister to buy one.
Oh, nice. Heck yeah.
And she graduated from the 711, the OG Oki,
yes,
to the Crio 8432. And for her, she got a gig with a Mustang Club.
Mm-hmm.
She'll make some T-shirts for friends and family, but like she got one club that pays her printer. So like she financed it. I forgot through who, but I think hers like around $250 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Now this not every user, not every user's in a Mustang Club, but for just an example that she's making high quality products for a legit Mustang Club who, they're proud of their work, right? So they're putting their cars on or whatever it might be. Yeah. And that was really cool, showing her success for someone that started out with a Cricut. And she did vinyl. Yeah. And she was like, hey, RJ, I know you're in this industry. Like, do you have any full color solutions? I was like, oh, let me tell you. You know what I mean? And so, but it's cool. So, like,
oh, that's cool.
I've trusted the product so much, like, my family is making money with it.
Yeah. When customers come back to you and they're telling you, like, their success stories, like, is there, like, a common thread that you're seeing? Like, these people are successful because maybe they're not all selling the same T-shirt, obviously. But, like, are there, like, common traits among the successful white toner users?
I think the super successful ones have a customer base.
Okay.
To give you an example, a lady out of Cincinnati has a boutique. When the Bengals made the Super Bowl, she was pulling in just with her Crio alone $40,000 a month. But she had the customer base. She's in Cincinnati. The Bengals are in the playoffs, making a good run. And now, obviously, the Bengals aren't in it anymore. But she has taken advantage, and we had this meeting the other day. Buy the Crio to just take advantage of these events. St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, Valentine's Day. I mean, you could make your payments on just events alone with this one product.
Yeah.
Which I think is amazing because it's a product. Okay, St. Patrick's Day's gone. I could put it away until Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And sit idle.
And you can't do that with the other printers.
Right. Exactly.
You cannot be seasonal with any inkjet system.
And this could be the customer that's an accountant full time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That just does this from 9 to 11 p.m. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the coolest part for us is like getting these customers that are like, dude, I'm so glad I bought this printer. I think this goes for any manufacturer out there, but showing the success stories. But on top of that is getting someone that is 911, I want to throw this printer out the window to, oh my gosh, that one thing you guys just saved me and now I love this machine. So the one thing I think that Crio differentiates maybe from other manufacturers is call us with your issues. We're going to answer the phone. We're not going to push you off. Obviously, we have amazing partners like Heat Press Nation who do a lot of the legwork. So by the time we get the customer, we probably know the issue. But it's like, look, invest in that Crio. We're going to invest back in you. Is really where Crio generates that end user success.
Yeah, and that's something that's really unique. There's a lot, and I guess now's a really good time to talk about like there's so much more to Crio than just being like, hey, we have a product, buy it. Yeah. Like I've noticed, and this is not just me, like personally, because I've actually dealt. I don't know I don't think it was Patrick. I think it was before he came on board. Okay. But we got our brand new Crio machine, and nothing against Crio. We don't always get the best deliveries here. I won't say which carrier it is, but stuff has arrived broken. I remember this story. Stuff has arrived broken before. So this was nothing new. We're like, oh, great. Another. So there was a part of the printer that had broken in shipping. And we know it's shipping because it wasn't the first thing that's arrived broken. Right. So I call, I don't know if I text. No, I did text you first.
You texted me. Yeah. You sent me a picture.
Yeah.
You said the lid won't close.
Yeah.
And there was that little part.
There's a little part. And dude, I got that part so fast. Yep. With a very detailed video on how to fix it. And dude, we were in business like, I want to say within like a day or two.
I think it was 2 days later you sent me the shirt and you said,
oh yeah.
Just made this. And I was like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. And that was because, so we got the print up and running super fast. And then I actually had the shirt done within a few minutes. I think it was like half an hour.
Yeah.
And that was my first white toner.
I know. I was like, wait, you didn't even call me for help. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just did it.
So I love the support from Crio. Of course, I saw some of the videos from you guys.
Yep.
And this is before. So now I actually do white toner instruction. This is before I was white toner instructor Jared. This is when I was just like, oh, I was vinyl Jared back then.
Right.
I was not white toner Jared. And so to me, I think it's like a testament to just the quality of like Crio support.
Yeah.
And now you guys, we're like a year and a half maybe later or something like that.
We're August of 21. So yeah, we're past that 2-year mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dude, anyways, what makes Crio unique in your support? Because I know everybody has tech support, right?
Yep.
But you guys are kind of special, man. Can you kind of just
tell
the people?
No. So I think it goes back to where Crio originated. So Oki data was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
End user calls Oki, my paper's not working, right? My transfer film doesn't work. Old school Oki was like, sorry, man, the print? Okay, cool, gotta go. Like, go call your dealer. They shoot them off.
Yeah, because they sell their printers plus the white toners plus the office printers. The big.
But they were printer people, right?
Yeah.
And we all know that this white toner thing, the printer is just part of the occasion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what paper are you printing on? Are you using a RIP software?
Yes.
What heat press are you using? There's a lot of variables. So what made Crio so good is that we already were experts in these fields, right? ISW, we sell heat presses, we sell transfer paper, RIP software. So we know the whole line. And so I think it's really cool that if you buy a Crio, we have a whole website called mycrio.com. Once you register your printer, you get access to a boatload of support.
Yes.
And we're adding on to that. So the RIP software, I'll just hit that first. That might be a little intimidating, right?
Okay, of everything I've encountered in white toner, for me, the RIP software was the hardest part.
Yeah, I mean,
which is not that hard to figure out.
Because you might be an expert in Corel and be like, what is this new software?
Yeah.
I do want to throw it out there. It's a plug and play. So you just load in your image, and if it's edited, just hit print and you should be fine. But with that being said, every Tuesday, twice a day, so morning and afternoon, we do a live RIP training session. So bring your questions and get live answers. But, you know, so we take away the printing issue, right? And now we're doing application training. So on every other Friday, we're going to be doing new segments. Okay, we're decorating a black cotton shirt.
Love it.
Start to finish, here's maybe 4 different papers in the market to properly how to use all these. So we are now offering a lot more support, but you can call Crio with a RIP question, a heat press question, a paper question, or a printer question, and you're going to get printer to process support, which makes it almost bulletproof if you invest in Crio, because you're going to at least get an answer. Now, there's a learning curve. Don't get me wrong. You're going to mess up some transfers, but at least you're going to have someone to go to, like our dealer, you know, Heat Press Nation, or us direct, and we will help you with whatever that need is. So that is where Crio originated, was that end user first mentality, and we've only expanded on that.
I love that, man. I love that because, again, dude, we're alternate universe versions of each other. Because Heat Press Nation, one of the reasons why I'm proud to work for this company, why I'm still here 8 years later, is we are focused on the customers. We like Crio, have that, because you guys are lifetime tech support, right? Or what
so you could call it, the warranty might expire, but Crio's still there to help.
Right, exactly. Sure. So same with Heat Press Nation. Even if you're past your warranty, call us. We're still gonna help you troubleshoot the product. And so, you know, to give a shameless plug, like, I know we're talking about it. This isn't really a sales pitch, but like, dude, buy from Heat Press Nation, man. You're getting basically double the support, because you can call us, and you can call Crio, both for your Crio stuff, your white toner stuff. We support everything we sell. So, like, you're getting just double the support. All right, you're getting double the brain power when you buy from HPN. But man, one thing that's also unique about Crio is you guys also have. It's not for every situation, but can you talk about the on-site warranty? Like, what is that kind of?
Yeah, so because our printers are manufactured white toner printers, we get to offer an on-site warranty. Meaning,
okay, sorry, pause. I have to interrupt you.
Sure.
You're manufactured white toner.
Yep.
You were mentioning something off camera that Crio is the only printer that's white toner off the assembly line, something like that, right?
Yeah. So Crio is the only white toner printer on the market that leaves the manufacturing facility Oki Data as a white toner printer. So if it's an
Right.
Oki Data model printer, Crio is the official OEM for the Western Hemisphere. So if you go to like Europe or Japan, it's still Oki. But our product leaves Japan white toner. With that being said, there's no types of, I'm not, buying a printer and making my own.
Right. It's not like a conversion or anything
It's
like
not
that.
converted.
It's a true white toner.
It leaves. So
Yeah.
the warranty aspect, if we determine it's a hardware issue and I need to deploy someone on site, since COVID hit, it's been very hard to get a technician next day or 2 days. We're now finding that it takes 1 to 2 weeks, 10 days to get someone on site. And so we're like, I don't want a user down that long.
Yeah.
What we now determine is like, if I can't get there and it's a hardware issue, let me send you a new printer. I'll take yours back. We'll fix it here. And then we take it to a show, maybe as a refurb, or we'll worry about that. But I want you to be up and printing because we give you a product. We back
insane.
it. And so we're finding, though, the customers like that even better than waiting, because on site, it might not get fixed. If I give you a new printer, we know it's fixed.
Yeah, yeah.
Or with hopes. And so it has been very successful. Now, if we were doing this for every customer, like if the product was always breaking, obviously we'd be out of business. Our success rate is very high as long as the hardware goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, our warranty is, if you call me Monday, I'm hoping that you are up and printing no later than Friday, depending if you're in California and we ship from St. Louis. So yes, that we do have, second to none warranty of, I'll give you a new printer because I want you to be up and running quickly.
Right. And in my case, for something small, it's easy to fix. Like,
right.
You didn't need to send anybody out.
Exactly.
It's usually faster. And most people would prefer a part. I'm in the crew where just send me a part because I can actually get to work faster.
Yep.
Right. But just the fact that you're willing to do on site.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you're willing to, like, hey, even replace a printer in certain situations.
Yep.
Not for everybody. That's insane. And to me, it speaks to the quality of the product.
Yep.
Because you're right. If you're a business and your stuff's always breaking, you're not gonna have the confidence to offer that kind of
I know.
warranty.
My goodness, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Where every heat press you sell is broken.
Right.
What I mean?
So that's why we're able to offer, because we have a 1-year warranty that can be extended for a very reasonable price. But we do free lifetime because, dude, we know.
Right.
As long as you're not throwing your heat press out the second story window,
You're right.
it's gonna be running.
Sure.
Yeah. So I definitely respect that about Crio.
It's awesome.
You guys pretty much stand alone in the industry right now in that, and I think that just again speaks to the quality of the equipment, man.
Yeah. Speaking of heat presses, I do want to know. I don't even know if you're aware, but Crio's launching a heat press at ISS Long Beach.
What?
I would say over the last 3 years,
Uh-huh.
that has been our most asked question.
Mm-hmm.
What heat press should we buy? Do you guys have a heat press? Which one do you recommend? We're always like, look, just buy something good and that's a swing away.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of research over the last years and we've tested all the papers on this press, and I saw it for the first time yesterday.
Wait, you barely saw it for the first time.
I saw it for the first time yesterday.
I gotta go check. Well, we're gonna be there on tomorrow.
And please come by the booth. We'll have 2 in our booth, and we're really excited.
Well, you're
about
gonna
it.
have one once I'm done because I might have to take it. Oh.
You can have it, man. But no, so that's something exciting. Is you can buy the really, our goal behind this. We're not looking to just get rich off of heat presses. It's truly, this.
Yeah.
A good heat press will be your best friend with almost anything, but white toner especially.
White toner's finicky.
100%.
Yeah.
If you have consistent heat, consistent pressure, you're gonna be okay. Or at least we can tech you. Hey, that being said, now you can get the Crio solution. You get the Crio 8432 or 9541, the Crio press, and especially if we're helping you out or the dealers, it's gonna help you a lot on the tech side of things or give you more consistent results. So basically, it's foolproof to where, hey, you buy this, and these papers, you're gonna be successful. And so we're excited about it. I have some cool ideas in mind to maybe you can rent a press. Maybe a customer has an Amazon press and they're almost giving up.
The Amazon presses.
You know what I mean?
Those calls break my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have basically when someone tells me, "Oh yeah, and I have an Amazon press,"
and they're the sweetest person too.
They're so kind, and then I have to how do I tell them
Yeah.
that they just bought a brand new printer and they're also gonna have to spend another $900 to $1,200 to two. Like, how do I tell them?
know.
You thought you were done spending money, but if you
You're
have an
not.
Amazon press, you're
You
not.
know, and
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but like even those presses, like with sublimation or vinyl, they're not going to be as consistent. So
Yeah, those are more forgiving processes than white toner. To me, white toner, like in the Olympics, like it is a gold medal product for sure, but it requires gold medal equipment.
yeah, dude. I
to
mean,
go
you're not
with
going to
it.
put like bad fuel into a high end car.
Right.
So you want the premium. So it's the same thing as a good heat press will be your best friend. And
Yeah.
so yeah, we're launching that, and yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
I'm stoked on that.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I'm a heat press nerd.
Mm.
So like last year when you showed me the T1 paper,
Oh yeah.
I was just blown away. I absolutely love new product of any sort. So a new heat press, bro, that's like right
Right.
up my alley.
Yeah,
And
we're excited.
and kind of to speak of that, T1 is a little finicky, right? Of all the white toner papers, T1 I feel like
T1, yeah, you definitely want a high quality swing away
yeah,
press.
yeah, okay.
And to put it this way, we gave T1 paper to someone that's never done it and just used the new Crio press, and they did it in the first try.
Oh, then they're doing better than me.
You know what I mean? So to put it that
Very
way,
cool,
yeah, it's
very cool.
no, man, we're really thrilled about it, and I think it's only going to help us support people better.
Yeah.
And it gives them an option, like, hey, maybe not now, but you know, I can save up and I can get that Crio press or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Well, it gives me another press to play with. So
yes, it does. That's right.
All of this sometimes I'm gonna be real. Even when I'm talking about white toner stuff in my classes, because by the way, Heat Press Nation, we do have weekly classes on white toner as well. So really, like again, Heat Press Nation and Crio, between the two of us, dude, I feel like you have all the white toner resources you need as somebody either interested in white toner, getting started, or a current user. But anyways, that being said, so here at Heat Press Nation, we get a lot of questions, and sometimes white toner sounds a little too good to be true. And the truth is, like, we don't try to hide everything, but like, first of all, it is really good. But so we can be fully transparent, what issues do you see most commonly with white toner businesses? And what's your advice to like, hey, it's not the end of the world. You can just do X, Y, Z and kind of overcome that.
Sure. I think the biggest thing we've encountered over the last, 8 years is because we sell so much into the home business, you need dedicated power. And so if I'm in my guest bedroom doing this with a heat press and a printer, they're both pulling about 14 amps when in use, but those could be on the same circuit. So just knowing your power, and because the Crio and a heat press are going to need its own dedicated, at least 110 volt or 20 amp power outlet. So knowing your power voltage is going to be big, because even bad power when you're printing, you'll start to see some inconsistencies.
Oh, that's interesting.
That could hurt.
So if you don't have enough power, it won't like shut off.
Correct.
You just might have an issue with your print. Oh, that's
so your
crazy. I didn't know that.
fuser's not getting to the optimal temperature, and that's what the paper goes through to have it stick to the transfer paper. So power's huge. Humidity. So like our customers up in Minnesota, Michigan, North Dakota, Montana, during the winter times have to normally add a humidifier to their rooms because the air is so dry. But that's printing in anything.
What happens if it's too dry?
Too dry, you see a lot of spotting, especially when you're printing on the film. You'll see a lot of spotting in that film. It's just dry, really. The inside of the printer needs a little bit of humidity.
Okay.
The main one, I think we just hit on it, but it's trying to make it work with a lesser heat press. I've seen people buy the 8432 and use a 12x9 heat press, but use an 11x17 paper, and it doesn't even fit.
Dude, I would never even try that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like, we just hit on it, but you want the right heat press and the right printer, and I could say this confidently, I can almost promise your success.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of support and videos and troubleshooting and everything that's needed for you to be our customer to be successful.
Yeah.
You can almost take it out of the question if they have a good printer and good press. Now, they have a good printer, good press, and not enough power. Like I was just saying, there's I think digital printing in general, but so advice is look, buy from the knowledgeable person that you're talking to. You talk to Jared, I think you're going to get all the right answers. When you're talking to someone that maybe just selling you something to sell it, you might want to just step back and question, like, hold on here. And then it's your needs. What do you want to do with your business? Why are you adding a piece of equipment? Like I said earlier in the podcast, if you just want to do mugs, if I'm a sales rep that sells white toner, I could easily say, absolutely buy this printer to do all your mugs. Is it the right solution?
Right.
I don't know.
And I really like your attitude towards it because, you're seeing white toner as, for some things, of course, it is definitely the one solution.
Sure.
But it's also a complementary solution.
Yeah.
Like one thing I have never heard from your mouth is like, oh, white toner is the vinyl killer.
Nope.
It's the sublimation killer.
Nope.
Right? Can you, really quick, can you just give us just a thought on why it's such a good complement to these other systems?
Yeah, honestly, you could name any market within our industry, and I think it complements it because, and it's going to go back, this might sound repetitive, but because it's a no maintenance solution, you can add it to any print shop across the country, and they'll use it and not have to worry about it. You don't want to buy something, you got to waste money when it doesn't run in order to just operate. So that's why, let's just go through it real quick. Vinyl, no cutting, no weeding solution.
There we go.
Sublimation, cottons and darks.
There we go.
Screen printing, low run.
There we go.
Even direct to garment people will use it because it's easier to create 1 to 2 shirts with a Crio much faster.
Jeez.
DTF people are starting to buy these because if their machine goes down, they do have a solution.
Yes.
And also with the Crio, 1 to 10 is much easier to produce on this than it is on a DTF printer. So I'm never saying it's going to take over anything. It will always complement something, and because it can sit there idle for weeks and months, I don't want it to, but because it can.
Hey, there are seasonal businesses out
100%.
there. Yeah, for sure.
So that's why you'll never hear anyone at Crio in our booth say, ditch that, go here, or this is the best solution out there. It's not the best solution for everything, but it's got a need, it's got a fit, and we've made a lot of people successful, which I think we're really proud of at Crio.
Yeah,
starting a new brand, dude. I'm sure you guys know. You start a new brand. Yes, it's the technology's been there, but man, we're on year 3, and we're still doing really well. And so that's a testament to the product, to the support team that we have, and shout out to our dealers because you guys are what make us run. And
it's easy when you have the kind of product and support that Crio offers. I feel like the printers sell themselves. Like I do our weekly classes, and it's like I feel like I just have to show it off, and it sells itself because it's that great. I love it, dude.
It's awesome.
Again, heat press nerd here, you guys. I love being able to talk about this stuff. I love being able to talk to the pros, the veterans. Now, I guess 8 years. You're an industry vet now, kind of.
Yeah,
right?
I am.
Yeah,
we both are. I mean, we're going on 8 years,
dude. I know it is weird. I almost don't think of myself as an industry vet. But then I look around, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of am.
We are. We're those people in the locker room. They're like, been there, done that.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude. Well, RJ, you have a stacked weekend. So I am super grateful for you for carving out the time, coming here to talk to us at Heat Press Nation, coming in on the pod.
Yeah, man.
I'm so glad you're able to make it out. So I just really want to thank you,
Yeah.
ISW, for bringing you out here, man. It's good
No,
stuff.
thank you, Jared. Thank you, Heat Press Nation. Looking forward to a great weekend in California.
Heck yeah.
Always happy to be here. So I know we'll be doing a lot together in the future. So Jared and I. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Heck yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Customizing Culture podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Jared Barbosa, and today I've been joined by none other than the awesome, the handsome RJ Rickert, ISW and Creo. We'll see you guys around.